start. I hand over to Ingo.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks for giving me the chance to present here. So my topic is actually flashlighting a little bit on the 3D IC. This is one of our technologies at GlobalFoundries, wafer on wafer. My agenda to this talk will be like taking a look into modeling and specifically on the heat dependency. Then next I will mention a little bit on the electrothermal co-simulation challenges in 3D IC designs. Then I will talk about our EDA flow, what we suggest for 3D IC, and finally give a summary. So here is the famous Black's equation we have already heard about, and I want to specifically point your interest to this temperature dependency and how we resolve it, of course, together with EDA vendors. So basically, you see in this line that the pessimistic approach is to assume the highest temperature of your design. So you do actually a SPICE simulation, you find the hotspot, and this will be applied to your, yeah, maybe this is better, thanks. And this will be applied to your complete circuit, but this is quite pessimistic. So we came up with something else. So just actually taking the hot areas of your devices into account and applying the device's temperature only to these local spots where it applies to. So here you see, for instance, when the temperature is increased by 10 degrees, your medium, oh, sorry. Your lifetime will decrease will be halved. So as soon as we take this temperature into account, I will show you next how it is modeled. In this graph here below, you see how the temperatures are summed up on your device. So basically the TJ is the junction temperature of your device, and then you go back to your simulation temperature, multiply it by a coupling coefficient, which actually is a coupling coefficient to each metal, and then a joule heat comes into account. This is the heat of the wire due to RMS current. And all this together forms finally the temperature of your metal segment. And this on the right top actually shows how this looks graphically. So you have maybe two devices next to each other, and you form a so-called zone of influence around your devices, which is this area where the metals which are touching this zone of influence is actually exposed to. So all these techniques is known for single wafer. This is applied already maybe for 4 years, 5 years. But the challenge is now how to apply this to 3D IC. And to know what is the temperature, we do electrothermal simulations. This is coupling an electrical simulator with a thermal solver, FEM solver. And challenge here is that these tools are not prepared for 3D IC, so they are just made for single wafer. And here what you see in this simulation is that we actually brought these two designs together to study the impact of having like one power source on the bottom wafer and another power source on the top wafer, and to see how is the temperature spread into the neighboring wafer. This knowledge of getting these kind of temperature distributions helps to formulate your electromigration model, because then you can actually find what is your coupling between the metals from, or between the heat source from a single wafer into the metals, vice versa, the coupling to the cross wafer. So this is the flow we were coming up. Here you see that this is basically a traditional flow, but spread into two wafers, so assuming a top and a bottom wafer. And we are doing layout versus schematic to extract the devices. Then we have a query step as an intermediate step. Then we have a parasitic extraction step. And this is all done for each wafer. And you get finally a so-called detailed standard parasitic format, which is quite common in industry. This is basically the parasitics of your top and of your bottom wafer. And the additional step, what was introduced, is actually extracting the coupling capacitances between the wafers. So when you're having two wafers, large metal segments, they are forming capacitances. These are resolved here in this VIB PEX step. Finally, we do a transient simulation, taking this information into account of the location of the devices, because these DSBFs are annotated with location information of the devices, and we are applying the coupling coefficients and the zone of influence extensions, and finally we can actually compute the EM. So this is how we resolved the VIB, the virtual interface block. Here you see basically the top and the bottom with capacitances on your lines. And the charming thing is that it's quite modular. So we can extract top and bottom singular, and then we add the VIB. And this is our proposed solution. We are actually discussing still with the ADA vendors to implement this. So what you see here, this left top die and the bottom die, they are analyzed as they were. So this is as what we have. But in addition to this, we are suggesting this cross-coupling to add actually these red lines, meaning the coupling from this device into the other wafers, metal segments, and this can be formulated also modularly. So this is kind of our suggested architecture, that we can like combine not only two wafers, but 3, 4, whatever, how many wafers you want, and combine it, compose it. And even this zone of influence, because the heat is spreading spherically, this can be modeled like you have the original zone of influence, and then just on the boundary you have a higher zone of influence, a larger. And with this, I'm coming to the end. So basically, electromigration is temperature dependent. This is one of the messages, and we are modeling it by local temperature, which is applied to the metals above. We are taking 3D IC thermal simulations into account, where we get our data from, and for the EDA tool support, this is a constant topic, so we are in constant discussion with the EDA vendors. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So questions?
So are your coupling coefficients purely distance dependent, or do they also depend on the ratio of metallization to oxide or some effective conductivity?
I mean, these coupling coefficients, because the metal structure, the back end of line is constant, so they are just distant. They are measured by TCAD simulations in the thermal solver. Okay.
Any other questions? If not, more